Legislative Report with your state representative, Steve Mentzer of the 97th District in Lancaster County. The public school employees and state employees' pensions are a big problem in the state right now and something that's really being discussed on the legislative level. So here to talk with us about that is Representative Mentzer. Welcome.
Thank you, Laurie.
First of all, can you just set the problem for us and tell us a little bit about the state of the state employees pension fund and the school employees pension fund?
Right. Well, I think that this is probably one of the biggest challenges that Pennsylvania faces. We have a $44 billion unfunded pension liability. Now, to put that into context, the entire discretionary income budget of Pennsylvania is every year is $27.5 billion. So you can see $44 billion versus $27.5 billion. This is huge. And I think what we really want to do is we want to make sure that the people who are currently receiving benefits from the pension system and people who have worked for the past 10, 15 years, their pensions are secured. And that is going to be a big challenge.
Can you talk about, I mean, certainly if we want to tackle the problem, I would imagine we need to look both short-term and long-term. Mm-hmm. Would you say that's true?
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, the legislature has already made some reforms. Back in 2011, under Act 120, they've reduced the amount of benefits to new employees. And that certainly will go a certain distance to solving some of the problems, but it's just not going to solve the problem overall. And we're going to have to get into some other kind of reforms. Specifically, I think personally that anything that has been promised to date or to the date that we make a change needs to be honored. Going forward, that's a different story.
So to your school teachers and whatnot that are calling and worried about their pension and they're already in the system, you would say, what would you say to them?
Well, right now I've been telling them, you know, we need to just wait and see what the governor's proposal is. And then after we know that proposal, we can talk a little bit more about it. But what I will say is that, you know, sacrifices are going to have to be made by everyone. And there's going to have to be some middle ground here because the last thing we want to have happen is what happened in Great Falls, Rhode Island. Great Falls was a municipality that had a very huge pension problem, and it caused the municipality to go bankrupt. And when the municipality went bankrupt, what happened was people who were currently receiving benefits, currently retired, had their pensions cut in half. Now, we don't want that to happen here in Pennsylvania.
And certainly when we talk about this problem, it's not just a problem for the employees that may receive these pensions. It trickles down and it causes financial problems for our local governments and our school districts, which then translates to property tax issues, which is a big issue in Lancaster County.
It's a very big issue in Lancaster County, and I think you stated that very well. We need to be able to control this situation, this unfunded liability, so that it doesn't trickle down to take away some of the basics of education. I mean, like pencils and papers and the technology. I mean, we don't want this issue to be drawing resources from the very basic things we need to provide quality education to the students in the Commonwealth.
And then finally, just to sum up, where do you see this issue going? I imagine it's going to be on the front burner.
Yeah, well, I think it definitely has to be addressed. And, you know, I'm certainly prepared to take a look at all different kind of alternatives to see that it's addressed. I think I talked a little bit about the fact that, you know, I think moving forward we're going to have to make some changes. And we will wait to see the governor's proposal. And when we do, we can talk more intelligently and concrete about what those changes might be.
Well, thanks for spending time telling your constituents about this issue, and I'm sure you'll be working on it as well.
Well, thank you very much.
Yep. Well, that's all the time we have today. If you have any questions for Representative Mentzer, his contact information will be on the screen in just a moment. Thanks for spending a few minutes with Representative Stephen Mentzer.